What up? This is Rama Screen, and it's time for another celeb interview. And in the anticipation of What Lies Below, which arrives on demand and digital December 4th, I'm here talking with the star of this new movie, Trey Tucker. How are you, Trey?
I'm good. You have a very good announcer voice, man. I like that.
Appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time. I'm going to go straight to the $1 million question here because prior to this film, the last hunk of a man who emerged from the water in a Speedo was Daniel Craig in Casino Royale. And now you
hmm
kind of gave that a run for their money. What was that?
Mm.
What was it like shooting that sequence for this film?
No, it was shitty. It was fucking cold, man. No, it was fun, and we all kind of knew what we were giving a nod to, and it made it very fun. But the water was like 39 degrees.
Wow.
Um, so bear that in mind when you see it. And it was like 39 degrees, and they had done a great job of clearing everything underneath the water as best they could, but it was still just very rocky. It was not like a beach thing. So I kept like made it, but it was a little wobbly, and so Brad, the director, would ask for another one, and it was 39 degrees in the water. And after like two or three, I just started telling him things that he owed me if he wanted me to do another one, like a steak dinner, a bottle of scotch, things like this. He never gave me any of it, but it felt good. It helped me keep going then. So yeah.
but were you the one doing the slow mo, or was that the effects?
I think I did it by accident and they liked it, so they did an effect.
Can you talk to me about your experience working with your co-stars, Mina and Emma? What was it like with them on the set, on and off the camera, and working with them to create the dynamic between the three of you on the screen?
Yeah. First of all, they were just dolls to me. Everybody, the whole time through, was very pleasant, very professional, very hardworking. I mean, we did the movie in a relatively short amount of time, which doesn't happen successfully, I think, unless you really have everybody showing up to play ball. So that would probably be the first thing that I would compliment them both on is just showing up ready to work and committed to telling a good story. Uh, and then off camera, I mean, it was just as delightful. I mean, I still, uh, occasionally keep in touch with them. They're everybody's busy as it goes, but it's nice to hear how they're doing, and they're people I'd be delighted to know for a long time. We had a lot of fun, but also they're folks that I enjoyed connecting with on uh, more than superficially, I'd say, and it was they were great, good people to know. So
All right. You know what? I'm a nerd, but I'm not a science nerd. But I admire science nerds everywhere. So I gotta ask you about that experiment at the table scene with the
hmm
cups and the ice cubes. How many times did you have to do that to get that scene right? And is was it scientifically accurate, or did you guys take some scientific creative license, if you will?
uh, so I'll tell you, when you see it like kind of close up, that's actually not me doing that. They kind of shot that separately because they had something very specific that they wanted. Um, and so I'm not really sure how many times that took. But we did it quite a number of times because one of the fun things about working with Brad, uh, our director, was uh, he had a few different things in mind for the scenes, a few different ways that it could go, especially once he started cutting it together in the context of everything else. Uh, so we did it. I mean, probably, and there was a few different coverages on there, so we probably did it a good altogether 20, 30 times if you count all the different coverages. But that was mostly because he uh, was very good about kind of giving us some room to play and try it different ways. And I think it was my introduction to being on a production where there is you have a really nice balance between trust in your director that you'll be guided into things that will make the scene successful, but also given a lot of liberty to be able to play and try things. The accuracy of it, I don't exactly know. To be honest, I don't know that experiment. Uh,
but it looks great.
I should say at the time I looked into it some, and I do remember that in another life I would be a physicist. That's sort of my fantasy lifestyle, and I remember it seemed to stand up, but I couldn't remember what it was now, to be honest. So,
No
but I think it
problems.
was right. I think they did the research.
um, how would you describe your character, John Smith? Because this is a science fiction thriller, but there's also erotic thriller and paranoia thriller mixed into that. There's different genres and tones here.
Hmm.
And so, how do you embody John Smith going through this arc and process?
He's a guy who is um, he lives in a realm of the sciences. He's sort of kind of in a different headspace most of the time because of that. He does really care about these people, but he is not. His experience uh, coming up um, didn't really condition him for normal interactions like this, and he really does kind of live in his head and has his agendas and motivations in his scientific pursuits, and that really does. That's what he's good at, and so uh, yeah, I would. I mean, that's kind of how. Um, but his desire to please and care for this woman really is very central to how he behaves. He just his experience is has has left him maybe ill-equipped up to this point. And yeah, I don't know if if that answers your question, but that's how I describe it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I know that there's twists and turns in this movie that we don't want to spoil for the fans, definitely. And so I
Yeah.
guess my final question to you is what is next on your horizon? And will you be able to do those projects during this pandemic?
Well, I'm actually in Atlanta right now, working on a show for Stars called Heels, which is should come out sometime next year. And we've been very, very fortunate. We have an incredible team that's making sure that we're very safe and conscientious of what needs to be done to keep everybody safe. And we're all very, very fortunate to get to work right now. And from for as far as we can tell, it seems to be going really well. Everyone who's a part of this show is really proud of the work that we're doing, and we hope that you guys are too when you get to see it. And then we'll just see what comes after this, you know. But that's what we're doing right now.
All right. For my fans at home, go check out What Lies Below, arriving on demand and digital December 4th. Trey, thank you for talking to me and congratulations.
Hey, thank you very much. Thanks for taking the time as well, and yeah, thanks y'all for supporting the movie.